Good morning and welcome to Think Parks, Northwest Indiana. My name is Chuck Gardiner. I'm the host of today's show. It's a show that once a month we talk about parks and recreation departments in Lake, LaPorte, and Porter County. I'm with New Toys Leisure Products. New Toys Leisure Products is the sponsor of today's show. With me today is Mark Schreiber from the City of LaPorte Parks. Welcome, Mark.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. I've been on with you a couple times before, and it's always a great opportunity to talk about our community, but also just talk about the Parks and Rec field. So I definitely appreciate it.
Well, and again, when you start talking about LaPorte Parks, I tell you, you have a lot of acreage of parks, don't you?
Yeah, we have over 880 acres of park, and part of that is some lakes that then are encompassed by park, but we have a lot of great woodlands. We have an 18-hole golf course, a beautiful golf course, 16 parks, and a burgeoning trail system. We're starting to catch up with the region. There's a lot of communities over in the region. Their trail systems are leaps and bounds kind of ahead where we got, but we're getting there fast, and so we're very, very blessed.
Well, that's great. I do think LaPorte Parks is one of those park departments that almost has everything. You know, you start talking about a lot of park departments, cities and towns are landlocked. They don't have any kind of water facilities. Well, guess what? You have a couple lakes within your park system. The trail system, all the neighborhood parks, baseball fields, everything else. It really is a lot of things happening.
Oh, and that's exactly it. I mean, and not only do we have lakes, but we have lakes that are kind of varying. You have Pine Lake, which we have 3 parks situated on, which creates public access. We have a marina there, and that's kind of your power boating, water skiing lake. And then just adjacent to it, even connected by a channel, is Stone Lake. It has the 10-mile-per-hour speed limit set by DNR, so it's more of your fishing lake, maybe your pontooning or your paddleboarding, kayaking lake. And we also have a nice public beach there that's gotten tremendous use, especially post-pandemic. And then we've got Clear Lake, which was located in what was once a more industrial area, but it's still a beautiful lake. We've put a trail all the way around it. We've got an amphitheater there, some ball diamonds and picnic shelters. So, our forefathers really blessed us with the forethought to have the parks that we need, and we really even exceed what our population would dictate. But again, just very blessed to have them.
And that is something. The population of LaPorte, certainly, if you look at the national averages, you wouldn't have that many park acreage. But again, certainly with what you do there,
right,
got a lot of opportunities. How long have you been with the LaPorte Parks Department?
So I came over to the park department in 2012. I was the senior program director at our YMCA in town.
Okay.
And kind of fell into programming. I was a journalism student who went into sports writing and decided to get out of that field, and fortunately got into programming and came over to the parks as recreation director in 2012, and then in 2014 got appointed as park superintendent. So 11 years in, and still learning and still growing, and have really enjoyed a great run. I have a great staff. From our pro at the golf course to our maintenance to just great office staff, great all-around team effort.
And that's really cool. And again, we did talk a lot about at the beginning, certainly the facilities.
Sure.
But as a programmer, LaPorte also has a lot of different programs and special events and things like that. Can you highlight maybe some of the most recent special events that has happened in the city and maybe some of the things that are coming up?
Yeah, we try to stay as busy or keep our community as busy as possible in the summertime. And we've always had a lot of great youth sports programs. We do the baseball, softball, tennis. We've always had adult softball, things of that nature. But in recent years, we've gotten more into some enrichment classes, but a lot of events. And, one of the things Mayor Dermody, when he came in 2020, said, we're going to get rid of this old adage that there's nothing to do. There's never anything to do. If you can't find anything to do in LaPorte, you're just not looking. And from a parks perspective, we do everything from, having Zumba classes in the park. We have our Foodie Tuesdays where we bring out a food truck every week to Unity Park along Pine Lake. We have Walking Wednesdays, which is a walking group opportunity. There's the city band on Wednesday nights. We work with a group called Arts in the Park who puts on a concert every Thursday. And then every Friday through the summer, we either have what we call a Friday Night Live, which is a downtown event, or we even do one of them in the park, which coincides with Lake Fest. But we generally do it downtown. and it includes food trucks, bands, just just a great time for everybody. But on nights we don't have that. We either have a night bike ride or a movie in the park. We try to have something every single Friday throughout the year. We put on the annual fireworks now that we shoot over Clear Lake. But our big one is Lake Fest, which we just wrapped up. It was the last weekend in July, and just had a very successful event despite some stormy weather. We didn't quite get everything in that we wanted to get in, but we got in most of it. We had a great concert. Jesse McCartney, who's a international touring artist, came in and was our headliner. We got great impact on that. We had people from as far away from Georgia that flew into Chicago and drove over to go to this concert.
Wow.
We had people from Iowa, Ohio, a lot of people out of the south suburbs. So those are the type of events that have a big impact. And Lake Fest is more than just a concert. We have a variety of other type of things. We have a craft show, beach fun day for the kids. We do fireworks. We have car show, kayaking, mountain biking, all these type of events that all kind of fold into one big weekend for us. And like I said, a little stormy this year, but wish we would have had the weather that we had the weekend following that. But that's just part of planning outdoor events. You roll with it.
I guess if you've been in the park business as long as you have, you start seeing that some weekends are good weather weekends and other weekends you just got to deal with it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I grew up. I'm the son of a baseball coach, so I know exactly that the one opponent you never beat is the weather. So, and it's disappointing for your committee. I mean, we start planning in October for an event that happens at the end of July, so it's always disappointing when maybe something doesn't go off as planned because of the weather. But you roll with it, and I'm very proud of the efforts, and this was our 5th year of doing it. Well, we're chasing a lot of other festivals in the area that
right.
are 40 more years or 30 plus years in, and they do a magnificent job of bringing people into their communities and entertaining their communities. And that's really what we're trying to do, and put an emphasis, though, on our lakes and our parks, which we really consider to be a great asset to the quality of life.
And that quality of life and again, just bringing the community together. Have you seen, or how do you gauge the community impact on all this stuff? Certainly, that is one of the goals of Parks and Recreation, is to bring the community together, have an involvement from the community. How have you seen that grow over the years with LaPorte?
Well, we really never really had, as a city, a citywide festival. Of course, you have the county fair that happens every year. We'd had Sunflower Fair, which is a one-day craft market downtown, which has grown substantially. It's in its 26th year. It'll be coming up September 20th, which is great. But when Mayor Dermody took over, before he even took office, he said to me, he said, "Listen, we're going to have a big festival, and it's going to surround our lakes. We're going to re-emphasize our lakes." Because, a lot of people had said for years, our lakes are a great asset that we're not taking advantage of. And again, we know there's lakes other places, but we're very proud of what we have. And as I outlined earlier, really kind of the variety of lakes that we have. So we wanted to take advantage of that and really emphasize our parks. We've been blessed with a health foundation that was created in 2017, actually 2016. And they grant every year, and they've been very big supporters of our parks. They've helped us build our trails out, helped us with other types of amenities because they want to build the infrastructure to allow people to lead healthy lives. So the community impact has been strong, and not just from the events, but again, from adding infrastructure, your programs that go throughout the year. And we just want to be partners in that. We also have a strong YMCA in our community, great libraries, the schools. So, it's not one aspect of your community. It's all aspects.
Right. And again, it brings it all together when you start talking about all the different facilities and groups working together.
Absolutely.
You are listening to Think Parks Northwest Indiana. Today is Wednesday, August 13th. My name is Chuck Gardiner with New Toys Leisure Products, and my guest today is Mark Schreiber from the City of LaPorte Parks and Recreation Department. We welcome Mark. And Mark, looking at your shirt here, it says relentless.
Relentless.
What does that all mean? What's that all about?
Well, Mayor Dermody has really kind of taken that on as a slogan for our administration. And of course, we're our citywide. Our slogan is living the lake life. And we're obviously trying to do that through our parks and recreation. But relentless just means that we're going to take on all challenges. And I think governmentally, especially on the local levels, we're going to be facing a lot of challenges coming up over the next few years. I think our mayor, being a former state legislator, kind of saw the handwriting on the wall that, this property tax relief was going to be coming up, SB1. We don't know what the fallout of that's going to be, but we know that there's going to be a reduction in property taxes, which, as most everybody knows, that's what funds your local municipalities, your county government, your schools, anything you see down here on that level, trustees, libraries, everybody. We don't know exactly what that fallout will be. We're kind of looking at that right now. We're going through the budgeting process, but we know it's going to be a 3-year phase in, and we just have to be prepared for that. So that means taking on challenges like that, a reduction in federal funding. There's some different priorities now within the federal government. We've seen some grants already raked back from us. We had a very large tree grant, which every community needs, because every community has that canopy they have to take care of. We saw some of those monies pulled back. So how do you address these issues? How do you do things without if you're seeing your property taxes reduced, you're seeing your revenue reduced, how do you continue to give services? And we don't want to back off on services. We don't want to say, okay, we're not going to mow this park, we're going to cut this program, we're going to not do this or that. We want to continue to do that, and it's going to take a relentless attitude to do that.
Right, and also being able to face these challenges head on. Yeah. And again, it is one of those things where, the effects of Senate Bill 1, really, if you talk to 10 different municipalities, you get 10 different answers. You really don't know what they are, other than the fact that you said it is reduction in property tax. Yeah. Again, how are there potential areas that you're looking at when you start looking at how that's going to affect LaPorte? Mm-hmm. Are there areas that you're kind of dividing this up into, we're going to look at these maybe 3 or 4 different areas, how to combat some of the challenges that are coming up with the city? Well,
no, absolutely. And I think as you're alluding to, you have to be emboldened to make some hard decisions or take chances, right? And again, not be afraid to do something bold or something that you might fail at. Our mayor has been very upfront about the idea that we may not succeed in everything we try, but not trying is worse than failure. Mm-hmm. So, for one example, we have our civic auditorium. It's going on 100 years old, but we just did a $6 million renovation on it. Our goal has been to get it to be self-sustaining. And we're going to do that by having more city-promoted events, whether they be concerts or a brew fest or craft fairs or whatever we have to do to try and get earned revenues, because that's going to be a big part of what we're trying to do, increase our earned revenues, because we can't rely on those tax dollars anymore. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to be 100% successful in this endeavor. We may have to make some cuts. We may have to find some new revenue streams. But earned revenue is definitely a big part of it. Sponsorships are going to be another part. I always say people vote with their attendance, but they also vote with their checkbook. And if the businesses and the organizations in our community believe in what we're doing, hopefully they're going to be willing to help sponsor us and fund us, which is something that parks have done to a certain level, but they've never really gone all in on, right? They've really more relied on that what they get from the appropriations they get from the city council, from the general fund every year. And we've got to kind of find new ways to look for sponsorships, grants, those type of things.
Well, and you bring up the civic auditorium, and that's a success story already because
Sure.
of, again, if you look at the civic auditorium maybe 10 years ago, I don't recall a lot of different activities happening there. Where now you have the basketball tournaments, you have the concerts and things like that. And that is also probably bringing people to downtown LaPorte, probably. The businesses in that community have probably seen an increase in activity also.
Oh, absolutely. And you're exactly right, Chuck. I mean, it goes beyond just trying to get revenues for the city. It's just simply giving people, again, we talk about giving people things to do within your community. And the more entertainment dollars we keep in the community, the better it is for the restaurants, because people are going to go out to eat before. Maybe they're going to go out for a drink after. It's keeping those dollars in LaPorte by making it a more viable entity. And again, we've got to be thinking about the short term, but we also have to be thinking about the long term. We want the Civic Auditorium to be viable for the next 40, 50, or maybe another 100 years, just like our golf course. We need to be constantly striving to make improvements there. I would put Beechwood up against any municipal course, especially in the northern half of the state here, in terms of our conditions and the hospitality you receive and the quality and for the price. I don't think people are going to find a better golf experience than Beechwood Golf Course. But we have to continually be making those improvements, not be settling, not be saying, oh, we can't push this, we can't push that. Maybe sometimes we have too many balls in the air, right? And that can be an issue. But you have to be constantly thinking of how are we going to push it forward, even at times where that are going to be challenging here. You have to constantly be thinking of pushing it forward because you don't want to wind up, number one, with a lot of deferred maintenance, and you just don't want to wind up with facilities that people just generally don't maybe even want to visit anymore.
Well, and again, we just want to remind everybody it is Wednesday, August 13th. Listen to Think Parks, Northwest Indiana. My name is Chuck Gardiner with New Toys Leisure Products, here with Mark Schreiber from the City of LaPorte Parks and Recreation Department. And we're talking about all the great things happening in LaPorte and also some of the challenges that are coming up with some of the Senate Bill 1 and some of the property tax cutbacks and reduction of revenue. But again, what I think LaPorte has shown over the course of the last 10 years is just the importance of parks and recreation in your community, and again that pride that people take in coming to activities and everything else along the way. So, but again, a few minutes, we've got about 10 minutes left here, Mark, and again I do want to again get back to some of the things that are coming up maybe in the next couple of weeks here with some of the activities, recreational programs, special events, programs, whatever else. What else is coming up in the city?
Yeah, so we're starting to get towards the end of that summer cycle, and that's kind of natural as school starts tomorrow here Thursday, as we're discussing. So a lot of our summer programming for kids has started to wind down. Of course, we do fall ball and we do other things for the kids, and of course we'll eventually move indoors with a lot of our stuff. But I mentioned the Sunflower Fair coming up. That's a big one for the city of LaPorte. That'll be on downtown on Michigan Ave on Saturday, September 20th. We have over 100 vendors out there, either craft or nonprofit, and it's just really grown into something that our community looks forward to every year. And we've just got to always have, as we mentioned before, the Civic Auditorium. Follow us on LaPorteCivicAuditorium.com. We have a lot of great concerts, not just the tribute acts, which have been very good for us, and a lot of people understand that's a big part of the entertainment field anymore. It's actually starting to get a little bit saturated because everybody's kind of gotten back into live music. I don't know if that was post-pandemic or what's kind of led people back to the concert stage, but it's been big for a lot of communities. And when you have those successes, other communities kind of look over the shoulder and they say, hey, we'd like to do these type of things too. But we also have a lot of original artists that come through. We've got David Nail coming up, who's a Grammy-nominated country artist. He'll be at the Civic Auditorium August 23rd. We've got a great Chicago tribute coming up. We even do a little bit of pro wrestling there. A really exciting event for us comes up in January, and that's our LaPorte Invitational. We're really just getting ready to roll that out. We'll probably have tickets on sale by early September. And for those people that aren't familiar with the LaPorte Invitational, it's a 3-day event. This year it'll be January 9 through 11. At the LaPorte Civic Auditorium, and we really bring in all of the big names in national high school basketball. And I know a lot of people are very loyal to their local schools, and that's great. I bleed orange and black myself as a LaPorte slicer, but we have a school in our backyard, La La Mer, who is consistently playing for national championships at the high school level. Matter of fact, they're loaded again this year. I was just talking with their coach yesterday. They've got a kid coming in, a guard that's going to Kentucky. They've got kids going to Notre Dame. They've got kids going here and there. And they allow us to put on this National Basketball Invitational. We have seen probably, I would say, upwards of 20-plus kids in the first 4 years who have gone on to get drafted into the NBA. Now, this isn't just kids going to Division I. These are kids, and if you understand the structure of basketball anymore, you go from high school to the mandatory 1 year of college, and a lot of these big talents, they're in the NBA draft the very next year. And whether you like that or not, that's the way the structure is.
That's the nature of the business.
That's the nature of the business right now. So you can come to LaPorte, Indiana, see these kids play for a very reasonable ticket. There is no bad seat in the LaPorte Civic Auditorium. We hold for basketball probably in the range of about 1,600. You are going to see some of the best talent in the nation. I guarantee you're going to see the best talent in the nation. These kids are all going off to the Dukes, the Kansases, the IUs, all these schools they're going to. you're going to see them in LaPorte on that court up close. And then within a year or two, they're in the NBA. And you can say, hey, I saw them win.
And in the Civic Auditorium, a building that is traditional, historical. It really brings back that old memory of the Hoosier basketball auditorium.
And a lot of these games, all the games are streamed. Some of them are on ESPNU or ESPN2. We're hoping to see maybe some other outlets this year with the games. But it shows great on TV. I mean, if anybody's ever watched one of these, it's just so cool to see it. But it is an old school feel, and I'm really surprised at how much the players enjoy playing there. The coaches are sentimental. I can imagine a guy my age walking in saying, "Oh man, this is old school." The kids love it too. It's old school. The locker rooms are in the basement. They come up. It has that real Hoosiers feel. And our Convention and Visitors Bureau is a big partner in that, as they are in a lot of the things we do. Yeah. They sponsored our fireworks this year, but they really are big time supporters of this LaPorte Invitational. And the kids, they're put up at the Blue Chip Casino Hotel. Yeah. They're treated to great meals. Everything's first class. A lot of times they'll go to these tournaments across the nation, and they're staying at the closest Ramada. Yeah. Their facilities aren't the best. It's just not rolled out like it is. And with our Convention Visitors Bureau and the city of LaPorte and La we roll out the red carpet for them. And I really would encourage anybody here in the region that loves basketball. If you're really a basketball junkie, you don't want to miss these 3 days. So it's Friday, January 9th through the 11th. We're going to have a lot of big-name, nationally ranked teams. It's going to be a great event.
Yeah, well, and again, it certainly brings a spotlight on LaPorte, Indiana, LaPorte County. And again, you're doing that with a lot of different these programs, Lake Fest and everything else. You really bring the spotlight to LaPorte, and you're doing a great job.
Well, I appreciate it. And that's the goal, is to have impact, right? Like with that Jesse McCartney concert, impact. We could have put any band out there, right? A local band, a regional band, but to bring in a national act has impact. And a national basketball tournament where it's on TV, and every time they pan back and forth with the ball coming up, LaPorte, Indiana, right in the middle in the center spotlight. It adds a lot of great name recognition, and I bet you a lot of people are Googling LaPorte, Indiana as they watch that game, right?
I could imagine so. Again, just kind of wrapping this all up here, certainly you're doing a lot of great things, but certainly you got a staff that's doing a lot of work too here, I'm sure. Again, you kind of want to mention the staff again, or just kind of the
well, I'll tell you first and foremost,
big partners that you have.
Yeah, I mean our office staff is tremendous. Our maintenance staff is tremendous. Our golf pro Kyle Cashmere is unparalleled. His hospitality that he provides out at the golf course, and Jace Peterson, our ground superintendent out there, has raised the bar on our conditions. Again, I would welcome any golfer to come and play our course, and then compare us to any other municipality. I would say we're right up there with anybody. And of course, our Civic Auditorium staff, which doesn't just do events at the Civic. They also oversee all of our outside events, the downtown Friday Night Live, Sunflower Fair, and then a great Lake Fest committee. Again, we put together 16, 17 event Lake Fest and do it with some outside groups, but a lot of hard work by that committee. So we're just very blessed to have a great team.
Great. And certainly we appreciate your time today, kind of talking about some of the things going on with LaPorte, the city of LaPorte Parks, and certainly also some of the challenges that are coming up, and how the city of LaPorte is really facing those head on, and really challenging that and trying to reinvent some of the ways that we can still expand opportunities within Parks and Recreation.
No, absolutely. You have to be willing to change the way you've done business. The worst answer to anything is, why do you do that? Well, that's the way we've always done it, right? And that's the worst answer you can ever give. We have to look outside the box. We have to continue to keep our nose to the grindstone, be relentless, as the mayor would tell us, and just not be afraid to take on the challenges, knowing that you're not always going to succeed, and when the doubters doubt, let them. You can't please everybody, but you're going to go forward and do what's best, not just for today, as we said earlier, but what's going to push your community forward for the next 30, 40 years.
Exactly. If anybody would like some more information about City of LaPorte Parks and Recreation Department, how can they get a hold of you or the park department?
Yeah, two great websites out there, LaPorteParkandRec.com. is how you can really find out directly about Park Department. We also have liveinthelakeLife.com, which is a great way to go about it as well. See all the calendar events, everything going on in LaPorte, and we're supported. We have a great health foundation. We have a great park foundation. A lot of great vehicles that we can use to continue to push forward. But I'd encourage everybody to look into everything we have to offer in LaPorte. We're living the lake life. We're LaPorte proud, and we really believe that our community is poised for great things in the future.
And I really, again, thank you for your time, Mark.
Sure.
And there are a lot of great things that have happened in the last couple of years, and certainly a lot of great things to look ahead to. So thank you very much for your time.
Sure.
This has been Think Parks Northwest Indiana for August. Today is August 13th, and we thank you for listening and watching, and have a great month. Thanks.